You wake up at 3 a.m. for absolutely no reason. You stare at the dark ceiling, feeling frustrated and exhausted. You grab your phone to distract yourself from the quiet. You tell yourself your sleep schedule is completely broken. You think there is something medically wrong with your body. But that may not be the whole story. The real answer is much older than modern medicine. What feels like a malfunction is actually a biological ghost, a buried survival rhythm from a world completely without light. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you will flip a switch. Artificial light will instantly flood your room. You will not even think twice about it. We assume the night is just the day, but slightly darker. We assume the world was always meant to be visible. We assume 8 continuous hours of sleep is the human default. But that is not quite right. That answer is entirely too small. For 99% of human history, that switch did not exist. When the sun set, the ancient world went completely black. You could not even see your own hand in front of you. Our eyes are actually terrible in the dark compared to predators, like a hawk. Leopards, hyenas, and wolves could navigate the shadows just fine. Moving around at night simply meant becoming food. So, early humans did what every other primate did. They climbed a tree or found a sheltered spot. And they stayed perfectly still until the sun returned. They survived by surrendering entirely to the dark. But then, a single discovery changed the equation overnight. Around 1 million years ago, humans learned to control fire. Fire created a 30-foot circle of absolute safety. Inside that glowing circle, night predators would not approach. Outside that circle, wandering away meant almost certain death. But fire did much more than just protect our ancestors. It gave them something they had never possessed before. It gave them extra usable hours. Suddenly, the human day did not have to end at sunset. And those extra hours completely rewired our species. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years studying the Kalahari Bushmen. She observed exactly how fire transformed human communication. During the day, 80% of their conversations were purely practical. Daytime talk was entirely about work, hunting, and logistics. But at night, around the fire, the entire character changed. 81% of nighttime conversations were entirely about stories. Myths, jokes, and tales of distant places filled the darkness. The campfire became the original theater and the original classroom. It is where we learn to imagine things that do not exist yet. But storytelling was not the only thing happening in the dark. You were never designed to sleep the way you do right now. In 2001, historian Roger Eckertz made a startling discovery. He found over 500 historical references to a forgotten rhythm. Medieval diaries and medical texts mentioned first sleep and second sleep. Before the industrial age, sleep was never one continuous block. People went to bed, slept for 4 hours, and then woke up. They stayed awake for 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then they went back to sleep until the dawn. This was how every human on the planet slept for millennia. This midnight awakening was not a form of insomnia. This fragmented pattern was completely and biologically normal. During that wakeful hour, people did absolutely everything. They visited neighbors, interpreted dreams, and reflected in absolute silence. Psychiatrist Thomas Ware later tested this deeply in a modern lab. He plunged volunteers into 14 hours of darkness every single night. Within weeks, their bodies perfectly reverted to the ancient pattern. First sleep, quiet wakefulness. Then a second sleep. Nobody told them to do this. Their bodies simply activated a program that had been buried alive. And during that midnight gap, their brain chemistry fundamentally changed. Their brains produced prolactin, creating a peaceful, almost meditative state. It was a distinct, isolated phase of human consciousness. But then, we violently conquered the night. We flooded our cities with street lamps, and then electric light bulbs. Your body cannot tell the difference between a glowing screen and the sun. Think of your internal circadian rhythm like a delicate mechanical clock. Artificial light is a heavy hand reaching in to stop the pendulum. It suppresses melatonin and shatters the ancient timing completely. We did not just change our bedtimes. We entirely eliminated a crucial phase of human experience. The quiet, reflective state between sleeps simply ceased to exist. Today, you wake up at 2 in the morning and panic. You stare at the wall, assuming your brain is broken. You call it a sleep disorder, and you try to medicate it. But what if it is not a disorder at all? The biological cost of our modern artificial sun is profound. We traded a calm, reflective biological state for chronic anxiety. We lost the dark hours where the human mind repairs itself. Your body is not malfunctioning when it wakes you up. It is just remembering exactly what it was built to do. For 300,000 years, the total darkness was sacred. Our ancestors gathered around fires to literally build human culture. They slept in 2 phases, perfectly tuned to the spinning earth. They lived under a sky completely filled with visible stars. And in the middle of the night, they thought in complete silence. The ancient system did not disappear when we invented the bulb. It simply changed jobs. It became a ghost haunting our modern bedrooms, waiting for the darkness to finally return. We eagerly traded the natural dark for a simple light switch. And most of us never even realized what was lost. But your brain still fundamentally remembers the fire. Your biology still patiently waits for the second sleep. And tonight, the ghost will likely wake you up again. Not metaphorically. Literally.